Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You're at the spot, the place, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Did you bring your thinking caps? It's time to put them on, because the conversation starts now. Welcome to On the Edge with April Mahoney Brains. You are back at the spot, the place, where the conversation is pointed, the guests are sharp, and the responses are never dull. Today, we are going to visit with Cynthia Miller, Freedom Guy. I'm looking so forward to talking to Cynthia. Cynthia Miller of Be More Joy, LLC, serves women as a freedom and joy wayshower. She's passionate about helping women free their voice, deeply love themselves, and follow their bliss, so that they can create lives that they love. The most effective way that she knows how to do this and to accomplish this is with subconscious rewiring. Brains, I'm going to tell you a secret. I try to rewire that subconscious every night. Before I go to bed, I give myself about 30 or 40 minutes to detox from all of the electromagnetic fields and negative information and all of that that's come into me all day. And then I place myself in a place of rest, and I'm grateful, and I try to prepare myself for the next day. So you really have to tap into your subconscious mind, because it is more conscious than the frontal lobe. It's where everything sits. It's where everything is, where you process. You are what you think. I was just telling Cynthia, you are what you eat, and you are who you hang around. And so you have to be careful with that. So she's going to teach me how to be a little bit more disciplined, as well as you. Let's welcome her to the show. How are you, Cynthia Miller?
I'm so well. Thank you for asking. It's just a beautiful day here. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
been so beautiful and sunny, and the flowering trees and bushes are in full bloom, so
Now,
it's
where
just
are you
gorgeous
at
here.
again?
I'm in the northeast PA in the Pocono Mountains. We have a
Oh,
lot of beautiful waterways. I live near a small river. I see
mm,
wildlife right in my backyard every day, the eagle, the osprey, the deer,
look at you.
nonstop. Yeah.
Are you living your best life?
I think I am, and it's
Yeah.
getting better and better every day.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
good, because some people don't even know what to expect. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they believe, because we have been so influenced by the outside world. And now it's just on steroids. You don't, with artificial intelligence, you don't know what to believe. Everything is recording you, your television,
Mm.
Zoom. Uh,
Big
big,
Brother is watching. It's
oh,
like all those sci-fi movies we watched as kids are coming true.
it's beyond that. It's beyond that. One of my friends told me, she says, "Oh, I went and had a colonoscopy, and now they've inserted a transmitter." And I had to laugh. I was like,
Oh gosh.
yeah. She said, "There's no getting away from it. No getting away from it." So tell me a little bit about you and how you found yourself in this space.
Okay, well, just briefly, I always start with that I was raised as a fundamentalist Christian.
Mm.
I was very much into my religion. I never questioned anything until I was in my 20s. I was on track to be a Bible translator missionary and save the heathens from going to hell. That was my thing.
Oh.
Then I questioned my beliefs when my parents divorced, and I was in my early 20s, which is probably late in life to be starting to question your beliefs, but I was very easily, I was gullible. I was very trusting. I just believed everything my parents and my church told me. So in my 20s, I just went searching, and I ended up on a path of Wicca, which is witchcraft. And then I ended up studying Buddhism and many different traditions and religions. And in college, I actually majored in cultural anthropology and linguistics. So I was taught to look at the world differently. So I always had a different take on American culture than most of my friends and my family, where I early on I understood that this way is not the only way. The way we see the world is not the only way. It may not even be the best way. And I even taught my daughter to gauge her health of life by whether or not she was in the mainstream culture.
Mm.
Said, honey, if you leave the matrix, you'll be happier and healthier. If you don't buy into all that, it takes courage, it takes, fortitude to do that because a lot of people won't understand you or might make fun of you, but I don't know. I'm embracing my weirdness, my wackiness and my quirkiness these days.
Weird is
So,
beautiful. Weird is not what
yeah.
people have described it to be. So you went into, and I want to ask about this. So you went into the wicked and the witchcraft. Now, you went the complete polar opposite. But I've had people on my show that have had, been white witches.
Yeah.
I've had another person on my show where her stepfather to this day is putting witchcraft on her and she can prove it. Why did you decide to go that way? I don't even
You
like the
know what?
word. I don't
I
like the
just
word
made the
witch.
Yeah, you know what? I just made the connection now as you're asking me. It's so interesting because I think, well, number one, I love nature. I would live outside if I could. I'm a nature gal. I feel most at home when I'm outside with the trees and just listening to the wind and the birds. So that's what drew me to Wicca because it was very nature based. So it's,
Mhm.
more the pagan side of it.
Right,
And also, I think what drew me to it was the divine feminine within Wicca because in my tradition, it was one god, male god, and then in Wicca, you have, of course, many gods and goddesses, but at least there were goddesses,
right,
and I liked that. And but it didn't fulfill all of my spiritual longings. Buddhism helped me a lot with my mind. I'd say Buddhism helped me the most with
mhm.
understanding the monkey mind because I think everybody thinks that's just their way their brain works. No, it's everybody's brain. It's the human brain. It's
Again, that's
just
why I said I have to put my monkey in the cage
yeah,
at night and say, "Look, you can't come out until tomorrow." And then when I rise the next day, I've gotten to the point where I don't even leave my phone in my room next to the bed. If there's anything that happens, it'll ring loud enough to wake me up. But I want to wake up and not just grab the device. I don't want to just jump right into the perils of the world. You know,
yeah.
what is the message that's going on? What happened in the world? What did I miss? I was there subliminally unconscious, resting, healing, preparing, thinking, receiving downloads from God. I don't need any interruption. And
Mm.
people are not allowing themselves any capacity. Everything is so compressed. It's like one of those bags, those air bags that they have for your clothes. You put the little suction cup on it and it just makes you, so compact. There's no room. And so I love the fact that you like nature and you like outside. I like outside too. I'm a tree hugger. Are you a tree
Mm.
hugger?
Absolutely.
I love a good tree hugging. Brains, if you've never tried it, it's the best meditation. You just want to be careful that there's no hornets, mosquitoes, or ants on the tree before you lay your body right next to it because you won't believe us then. It'll be a whole nother set of circumstances. So you
Mhm.
are a mother
I
of how
am.
many children do you have?
I was fortunate to at least have one child and had complications during my pregnancy and birth, so I'm very fortunate that we're both alive and
Okay.
we're
And how
here.
old is she?
She's 21.
She's 21.
She just turned 21. Yeah.
Well, good on her. So now that's a whole different mindset. Her desires of what they need. My daughter is 38, but still, they don't want the big house. They don't want the big car. A lot of them don't even want kids.
She
Now,
doesn't.
yeah, my
She
daughter
doesn't.
doesn't, she didn't want any either. What are you pouring into her about the divine feminine, about freedom, about rewiring her subconscious mind? Because again, she's
Yeah.
she's at that age now where the brain is fully developed. What are you
Hmm.
saying to her?
Well, interestingly, she is actually working with a colleague of mine who does the same subconscious rewiring. So she is finally like getting the help she needs. But all along through most of her childhood, um, and as she's gotten older, I've always told her, follow your heart, follow your bliss. She's multi-talented. She's a highly creative being. She's a Pisces. And, you know, she got her first full part-time job in the retail world and now knows how long it takes to earn money to buy things the regular way. And that's why I keep telling her, be an entrepreneur. You want to be able to travel, and you can still have your business while you're traveling, because I love to travel and I'd love to travel with her. She wants to see
Mhm.
Greece and Germany, and I'm hoping to take her to England where I'd like to bilocate. And I just keep
I
encouraging
love
her
that
to,
London, Brains. Let me tell you,
yeah,
I love London. Governor,
London's
I
amazing,
love it.
amazing. I was only
Mhm.
there one night, but I fell in love with it.
Oh, it's
But yeah, I just
wonderful.
tell her, like, we're here. What I believe is that we are divinely human. We are here to have a human experience for sure. I believe we're a soul who incarnated in a human experience. So I don't feel like I don't go the full Buddhist route where it's like deny and detach from everything, like your feelings. I think we are here to feel our feelings and let them move through us and not hold on to them. But we're here to follow our heart. I feel like when my heart speaks to me, that's my soul speaking to me, my higher self. And I've been following that for 4 years, and she hasn't let me down yet.
Well, you know
So,
when they say, because I've had some Buddhist friends. I'm not a Buddhist, but I've been able to, go to temple and, be among some great thought leaders. And in that process, that detaching, what I found for me personally was that it was a separation from love.
mm,
Love is a key component. Emotion is a key component of that. Resonating, understanding, feeling, good, bad, or indifferent. If you are numb to something, you can't resonate with it. And so it didn't hit my love language when it came to,
yeah.
connecting with people on that level. I
Mhm.
understand, being deep in thought, any religion doctrine that you are, there is a certain discipline. Uh, there's a level of engagement. Some are more intense than others. But what I always encourage people to do is have that direct source. Go to source directly. You don't need anybody to intercede on your behalf. Nobody came out of the portal with you when Cynthia gave birth. When my mama gave birth, I gave birth. There was only one singular person that came out, and they had signed a soul contract before they were even in utero. You already have a destiny, as they say, from the womb to the tomb. It's already designed. So, how are you going to navigate that? How do you work with your clients to help them really uncover and discover who they are and what they want?
Good question. And I'm going to come back to that in a second, because I just wanted to make a little comment about when you said we don't need anyone else to intercede for us between who we consider the divine source and ourselves. And I only just really started learning and understanding that that's what Yeshua was originally teaching. Yeshua taught that, but it got so distorted that Christianity went way off the mark. And I'm not going to go there to all that today, but that's
Yeah,
another
well,
topic for another
it's
time.
about it, but it's about interpretation. It can
Yeah.
be any religion. I give you a recipe, and then you throw your own secret sauce in it, and it turns into something else.
Yep.
It's like playing telephone. But if you follow the instruction, which is clearly documented for each one of us, and you connect with the cook, the person that you know, you're guaranteed to win. You're guaranteed to win. That's not to say you're not going to face no obstacles, right, Cynthia?
Yeah. Right. I love the way you phrase things, April. You have such a unique, fresh way of stating things that I've never heard it said that way before. And it resonates. It's really nice because it's a new way of
Well,
hearing
thank you. Well,
something.
I'm a poet, I'm a wordsmith,
Yeah.
and I've got a lot of life experience and experiences with different people. I mean, my Rolodex and my personal association with people is very vast. And so that's what I like to do. I like to absorb parts of you. That's what I'm here for. It's not to make it, my way or the highway. It just
Oh,
doesn't
that's the
work
way
that
my
way.
dad was.
Yeah.
My
And
way
that's
or
the
the
way a lot
highway.
of people are right now. They will not give you any capacity or any space. So the answer to my second question.
How do I help women?
Mhm.
what I say, the phrase I use is to reclaim and reveal their radiance,
Mm,
because I truly believe that when we come into this incarnation, we are whole, we are holy, and it's only our experiences and our beliefs that start to muddy the waters and veil us. You know, the masks, the veils, they start to accumulate. So, what I've been learning in my own life and when I work with my clients, it's really about unveiling ourselves, unmasking ourselves, and getting to the true self that is always there. The truth that is always there, the beauty that is always there, the wholeness that is always there, but we have muddied the waters, right? And so I do that in a few different ways. I do that by doing the subconscious rewiring technique, which kind of sounds scary to people sometimes when I use that phrase. I got to come up with a different phrase because honestly, some
yeah.
people look at me like, "Are you going to brainwash me?" Or
Right. And again, like I said, when you kind of, and I'm just telling you what people would observe. Okay, well, she's dealt with the wicked and she's dealt with the Buddhists and she was a Christian fundamentalist. And now she wants to rewire my subconscious mind. Is this the occult?
Well,
But
I'll tell you what, it's the cutting edge of neuroscience. And if you Google subconscious rewiring, you'll get a lot of information. And the method I trained in is one of the most potent, gentle, and effective methods. And I mean, there's a place for talk therapy for sure, but this goes right to the heart of the matter, and you don't have to relive trauma. You don't have to talk about the trauma. It can stay private between you and the practitioner. You know, you don't, the practitioner doesn't even have to know what you're working on, and it still works because you're working with the field, the superconscious, and you're working with your own subconscious. So the way, you know, I can't go into all the ways it works right now, but if anybody wants to know, I have a beautiful link that takes you right to the site that I trained in. They have frequently asked questions, they have videos, so people can
want them
understand
to
it and get,
connect. I don't want them to connect with a third party. I want them to connect with
yeah,
you
they can connect with me and I can
because
get
it's
the
something
information to
about
them.
it, but
Yeah,
it's something about you. You know, it's
yeah,
something about you. Number one, you're pulling back the layers and being authentic about who you are.
yes.
That's the first reason why you want to connect brains is because she's unmasking, she's unveiling, she's exposing, she's getting vulnerable, you know, to help you reach your highest and greatest good, which is very, very important when somebody is willing to get in the water with you. They don't just give you a bath, but they actually get in the water with you. And so that speaks volumes to her legitimacy because she's saying, "Hey, you know, I'm not trying to dictate and tell you something, but this is a lived experience. This is what I've experienced. Do you resonate with that? Am I correct on that, Cynthia?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And I am finally opening up my heart. My heart was really closed for a long time from a lot of different things, and the beautiful thing is when you become vulnerable and open up your heart, just wonderful things happen. I've made so many loving, kind friends. I wanted some new friends, and all of a sudden they just started flooding in because I was allowing myself to have that openness
Okay, but
and
let
be
me ask you a
vulnerable.
question. Let me ask you a question. How have you defined clear boundaries? Because you've been so exposed, because you've been sheltered, because you've been, for the lack of a better term, manipulated, coerced, okay? And now you're going, whoa, you know, now I'm doing my own thing, you know. Um, how are you able to really set boundaries
Boundaries with other people, you mean? Or
with
just,
other people or situations? How are you able to say no and feel good about it?
yeah, I actually feel like I have finally permission to say no. Growing up, I didn't have permission to say no to anybody. My mom said I was selfish, and she used the B word one time, I think, because I said
Mhm.
no to something, and she was like, "No, you shouldn't be saying no to anybody for anything ever. You should always be helpful and you know, put yourself last." So it was a lot of just learning through the years. You know, I'm about to be 60, so I'm going to own my crone, and I think I have some wisdom now. And I have found that in order for us to stay healthy, we do have to have boundaries, even with our immediate family. And for me, it's about learning to stay present in my body, which I was absent from most of my life. I was disconnected from my body from the waist down for sure, due to my religious upbringing, but just learning to notice my nervous system, which is the big thing nowadays, regulating your nervous system. Everybody's probably heard about that by now. And that is important because I feel like our bodies are our GPS system. So if we can tap into what our body is really sensing and feeling in the moment, we can know if something's meant for us or not. Is it good for us or not? Is that person in alignment? Is that person being truthful? You'll get all those answers in your body. But the trick is to go into stillness and silence, like you were speaking about, like to have that go into your center and have that moment where you can tap into your body. And I feel like, I wanted to comment on that before about the stillness and keeping your phone away from you. It's so important to have those tech breaks. It's so important for us to find time every day to go into stillness. And I didn't have a smartphone for most of my life. I only got it to travel to England. I never wanted one. I didn't want
Well,
people to be able to reach me 24/7. But
well,
now I
I
have
got one,
visitors.
and I had to set again. You talked about boundaries from outside influences. I had to set some boundaries for myself. I'm in a situation, and we had a deep breathing session, and I do that with all of my guests before I enter into an interview because I want to bring through the highest and greatest good. But with that, I had to stop and pause and check myself because I was like, it's one thing for you to be doing all this, you got a jaw jacking, having a great conversation, but are you listening to yourself? Are you
Mhm.
listening to yourself? That's the big thing. You can spiel out all this powerful, metaphysical, worldly, spiritual, sexual, allure and be jacked up like a soup sandwich. You be just as loose and watery and you have no substance. You need to have some substance in your life, brains. You have to say, you know what? Let me question myself. Let me set boundaries for myself. And I just had to do that. And it was uncomfortable at first, but then I was like, not if I'm being true to myself. If I really know who I am. And that I think is the punchline. Everybody wants to go deep and explore self. But are you ready to receive what self really is? Do you know who you are? It's ever evolving. I'm 63. So when you turn 60, I already told you there is going to be a liberation that morning. I want you to call me. You are going to feel like you have just got your angel wings because you become unapologetic, not rude, not disrespectful, but there's a lot of things, Cynthia, that you're not going to give a shit about. Really. It's like, oh, really? Do I care about that? Do I want to give that any energy? Am I upset about this? How can I make it better? How can I make it easier for me and those around me? So when you turn 60, it's a whole different thing. I guess that's why they call it the golden years. If
Mhm.
you had a client today that came to you and they were trying to do some self discovery, what are some of the beginning steps? What would you encourage them to do?
Well, I start everybody with the free 30-minute session, Becoming You Insight session, where we simply just I ask them some questions. We chat about where they are right now in their life and where they want to be, and then figure out some first steps, some practical advice they can put into place right away. They can also continue to work with me or not, but at least they have some first steps. They have like a direction to head in. So that's what I like to do with everyone. Just find out where they are right now and for them to get really clear on where they are right now and where they would like to move to.
There's a lot of
It's
epigenetic trauma that people go through. You carrying your grandmama's drama. So how do you break through that and be honest with yourself? There's a lot of empaths that take on other people's emotions, other people's uh, fears, anxiety, pain, separating your own stuff. So I appreciate the fact that you have a consultation with them, but brains, it's going to take more than 30 minutes. I've got one friend, bless her heart. She has been in therapy for 15 years. And what is concerning me about that is that she's lived it for 30 years. And now she's been in talk therapy for another 40 years. I mean, another 15 years. That's 45 years of the same situation. What can you suggest to people when it comes to their subconscious mind to how to rewire that? Is it with the neuro-linguistic programming? Do we start with how we talk to ourselves?
Well, definitely that's part of it, right? But so much of that trauma is unconscious. I mean, some of it's conscious, but if it's unconscious, it's harder to work with, right?
Mm,
So, but that's what goes back to what I was saying about talk therapy, you know. There is a place for it sometimes, but sometimes it just keeps you stuck.
mhm.
So that's why I loved
I
finding
think
this method.
personally, I think she got a crush on the therapist.
That can be it. And for those of us who believe what Abraham and Esther Hicks talk about, like if you want your circumstances to change, don't keep talking about what is. You have to tell a different story. You have to
Right.
start talking differently. So if you're in talk therapy, talking about your pain, talking about your past constantly, then you're just recreating all of that. That's how
Mhm.
I feel. That's what I believe. So I have to watch my own stuff when I'm talking, you know, because sometimes there was a story I was telling about some family trauma, and I was like, whoa, I'm going to stop telling that story. I don't need to live it anymore.
Right.
It's done. It's over with. I don't need to share that with anybody ever again. Um, but yeah, so you know, there's a lot of different ways to work with the subconscious. Mine is not the only way. I just feel it's a very effective way. But there are a lot of ways. There's you know, massage therapy. I was a massage therapist for over 30 years. Our memories are held and stored in our bodies, in our cells. So
Mhm.
you know, touch therapy, um, there's probably literally hundreds of ways to work with the subconscious, you know. I don't
Mhm.
know them all. I
Right.
know the ones I've trained in, but neuro linguistic program, you've got tapping, EFT,
Right.
right? Um, there's just so many beautiful ways, and I actually like discovering other ways and trying out other ways that people work with the subconscious. I find it fascinating that you can access it in many different ways. How about automatic writing? I think you can access your
Mm,
subconscious through automatic writing,
mhm.
getting in touch with your higher self, ask a question, get centered, get a journal, ask a question, and just write without censoring it or worrying about grammar or anything. Just
Right.
write and see what comes out.
Right.
That's kind of neat. Yeah.
Art therapy, music
Yeah.
therapy, those are ways of expressing. So let me ask you a couple quick questions before we conclude, because I love to ask this. If you could time travel, go back to the past, project to the future, stay here in the present, where would you land?
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's a tough one. I definitely wouldn't stay here in the present. I think I'd like to go back to Avalon, where I think I lived at one point.
Oh,
Um, and see what I did there. If I was a priestess of Avalon or, you know, my soul remembered that place as home, Glastonbury as home. So I was curious about why it felt like home because I'd never been there before in this lifetime. So I'd be very curious to see, like to see what I was doing.
amazing. That's amazing. If you were a flower in the garden, what flower would you be?
Oh, I grow giant zinnias and they're pretty awesome. The hummingbirds love them. They're amazing. I love all flowers. It'd be hard to pick a
Because,
flower.
well, I mean, you live there in the wilderness. That's absolutely beautiful. If you were an appliance in the kitchen, Cynthia Miller, what appliance would you be?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I guess my tea kettle because I love my herbal teas.
Yeah, you're hot and steamy, and now you're ready to spout off. I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I'm spouting off right now, aren't
I
I?
get it. So you have been a wealth of information. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom, your transparency, your understanding of what it is that the world needs now, which is more love, and defining that. Please tell my brains how to get in contact with you. I'd love for them to talk to you, do the consultation, and work with you. on a deeper
Absolutely,
level.
absolutely. And what you were saying that the world needs more and more of this, it's all the divine feminine qualities. It's the compassion. It's bringing back the collaboration versus competition and bringing back the mother world so the most vulnerable of us are cherished and taken care of, and everyone is taken care of. I really believe in bringing back the mother world and yeah, just inviting women who want to further reclaim and reveal their radiance to join me in Radiant Reclamation over in Glastonbury this June. Also, if they wish to learn about that, they could just contact me through my professional email, cynthia@bemorejoy.com. You can get to me on my Facebook profile, which will be in the comments
Yes,
somewhere in the description.
absolutely.
And yeah, and then I have a YouTube channel, which you can look at my journey if you want to follow my journey over in Avalon for the next for this coming summer. For those of you who can't join us, you can follow
I
my journey
know.
there.
I'm gonna follow. I'm gonna follow. So, Brains, I need you to go in and love, like, share, and subscribe. Love, like, share, and subscribe. Do the deep dive. If nobody for else, do it for yourself. It is such a revelation, but it takes dedication and responsibility. You gotta own your stuff. You gotta be accountable for your stuff, not Cynthia's stuff, not Bob, not Helen's, not the kids, but for your own self. And it's tough sometimes. It's tough sometimes. You got to step back and take a deep breath. But I tell you, it is so freeing. Once you get over the initial hurdle, after 45 minutes, you'll be fine. And try that. Try to disconnect from your phone about 30, 40 minutes before you go to sleep and put the phone in the, I'm telling you, let me know if you've done it. Prove to me that you've done it. I want you to take a picture of where the phone was, and I will send you a prize. Oh, yes, we do prizes here on the edge. I want you to be able to decompress because it's poison. Alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, sex, porn, telephone. It's all addicting. So you want to watch it. You want to be level so that you can make informed decisions. Thank you so much, Cynthia Miller. I think you are the best.
Thank you so much, April. It's an honor to be here with you.
Bye, brains. Have a good day. I love you.